Back. Here's what we're going to do. I have not opened this yet, and what I want to do is strictly focus on the counters. There's been a lot of discussion about the disaster that occurred with the previous one of the printers, the US-based printers that printed the counters, and unfortunately, due to overexcitement on trying to get counters out, there was no quality control done by lock and load, with no eyes on finished product. No looking at proofs and things like that, and it was a debacle. And I think the new management, new owners missed an opportunity. I've spent quite a bit of time talking and writing about this and videoing about this and how upset I was for them and how disappointed I was that they missed an opportunity. So you're going to get my unvarnished reaction to what we see in here, and you're going to see the counters side by side, and we're going to see what happens, right? I have been assured by the new management that these all look much better and should be in good shape. Nice packaging to protect the game and the counters. I'd certainly appreciate that, and wish the Paper Wars guys would do a little bit more for that. All right, here we go. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, it looks like they've gone with the linen finish that is very similar to the Eisenbach Gap Deluxe. Now, these cuts are perfect. The linen finish is nice. The counters feel pretty good. Let's, you know what, I'm going to use these guys here pretty soon. So let's pop. So we can just pop one of these guys out. Now I know these are not the wall-to-wall ones, but thickness is fine. The thickness might be a little thinner from lock and load than we're used to, but the cuts are good. Look fine. And we're going to talk about the colors in just a second. We're going to do a comparison on the colors. Let me feel these. Okay. Now, I've got Eisenbach Gap. Now, here's the thing we need to keep in mind. I'm going to show you a range of counters, and we're going to have a look at this and see what the impact is. I think these are all digitals, right? Digital prints. And that may be where we're getting a little bit of washout. My first reaction is there's some washout now compared to Eisenbach Gap. But one thing that stays constant with lock and load is, you know, for the World of War series, you are going to have some variability in the counters and the colors across the different titles. It's kind of become a hallmark trait. And not in it's neither good nor bad, it's just a freaking observation. Don't freak out. Let's just see. In terms of thickness, these ones are thicker. You can see that these are a little bit washed out though, right? Keep in mind, this is a video, so you're not getting, here's Blood and Bridges, guys. They've got a little bit of shine to them. Where are some other? Of course, I've got the dreaded Black Eagle there. That'll send hearts aflutter. So there are a couple of shades of difference in color, and the let's see if we can find some other guys to put out here just to give you a feel. There's some not Polish. Yeah, that's also packed. No, probably not going to work, but you know they're a few shades off. But the backgrounds are white as well, as opposed to the beige. I'm okay with the counters. I am certainly very, very happy with the quality of the printing, and the cutting is excellent. These are the Danish units over here, so they're supposed to be that color. That's fine, but I'm not sure that I wouldn't want to see these to be a richer red. These are Paras down here as well, so I can forgive these. I would just be concerned about the 12th and the 11th forces, assuming that they're Soviet. And if I'm wrong, someone can just smack me over the head. this is also, let's check the magazine now, because the magazine is supposed to be, I don't want to hack my map up. Get it out of the baggies. These are kind of a hard plastic bag, which I think are going to go straight into the trash. Maps are the typical print quality we would expect, and that's just a heavy cardboard stock. Whoops, here we go. It's a full color magazine, really nicely done. Wow, this looks good. All right, so nope. The Baltic Fury stuff. Here we go. Okay, so here's the forces. Can you guys see that? Okay. Crunch. I'm just looking at the unit types. Yeah, see, here's the 5th. So that is that's a pretty cool expansion. The counter colors are okay. The cuts are perfect. Got the Navy SEAL units down here, so I think we'll be able to play those scenarios. These are for the scenarios that are in the magazine, which is nice. Have a think about this, and then we'll get it up. I may make some other comments in a minute. Hey, so I was watching this YouTube video the other day, and it's one of those young blogger guys, video blogger guys who does a whole bunch of, gaming, Xbox gaming videos, and he started his own personal blog. And this is what he does. He holds the camera out here like this, and it's very cool. So that's what I'm going to do today. Kind of the wrap comments on the Lock and Load magazine, Line of Fire 14, actual magazine itself, because Nations at War, I should say, which is kind of gameplay for the Desert Heat, which is cool. There is a long, although it's called a short history, there's a long history of the U.S. Army, U.S. Army's armored divisions in World War II for White Star Rising, and yeah, Arrigo did that one. So it's a cool article actually. And then Mark Mitchell has a kind of a retrospective on zombies. So he's looking back at where did zombies come from? You're back in the voodoo days in Jamaica, and all the way through to modern day genre in the 60s, which really kicked things off, and then sort of fast forward through to today's drop dead gorgeous vampires and the zombie shows, whatever that thing is that's on TV that everybody watches. So there's a great article on that. I really enjoyed reading that, and Mark writes very well. I think Mark's got a bug up his ass with me. He's always got this backhanded commentary with me. So, Mark, I love your article. It's great. So if I'm pissing you off or have pissed you off, I'm sorry. But hey, whatever. Lewis has the interview with the designer, with Matt, for Baltic Fury, of course. There's a review of Dust Tactics, and I've heard good things about that game. Probably a 3-page article, so it's fairly in-depth, probably equivalent to a Paper War style review, and I think that's probably a good thing. Not sure that this sort of stuff belongs in Line of Fire magazine. If they're going to go in as a true house magazine, let's keep it that way. Let's talk about the games, because there's a lot to talk about with the Lock and Load different series and upcoming games and things like that. Then there's a fiction piece by Mark Roche for the War Party title. Pretty cool. Corps Commander, so if you're into Corps Commander, you need to get this. It's a cool little random events table that's been added on. Now, the scenarios, there's a first scenario out of the box is ATZ, and it looks to me like, from what I've seen of the ads for that zombie show, is that it's I think it's called Living Dead or something like that. This looks like one of a replay of one of the episodes there, because there's this mayor guy, and there's this wired up perimeter fence compound deal, and Tanya's got to get in and rescue the professor and all that stuff. So there's that. And it looks actually like a really well written scenario. So I'm not poo-pooing it. It looks cool. I liked ATZ the couple of times I played it, but I really used it to play that cool scenario that Mark Mitchell made on the Day of Heroes map. And then there's the general lock and load scenario for World War II under the Claw. There's another for modern day lock and load using Day of Heroes map, and there's actually a whole bunch of them in here, which are, if you haven't got Day of Heroes, you need to go get it, because it's freaking cool, number one, just to play the game, and number two, with some of the modern pieces from Heroes of the Gap. There's a World War III hypothetical here set in Libya, so it's a follow-on from one Line of Fire 13, and this looks like a great scenario. This has got 75th Rangers and militia in Libya against the Soviets, so that's pretty cool. Then there is a lock and load scenario set in World War III, and this is going to be the squad level lock and load, with the French and the Soviets fighting each other, but also it's more of an airborne activity here. So your two forces are coming in via helicopter to capture some bridges, and they're using the Heroes of the Blitzkrieg maps. And this is a 8-turn scenario, and it's fairly extensive. I want to call it 6 squads, and there's reinforcements. There's one Mi-24, a couple of BMDs, RPKs, Gazelles, Pumas. I mean, this looks really, really interesting, and the way it's laid out and the victory conditions are pretty sweet. There's a Somalia operation where there's some new counters in the Day of Heroes. There's some new counters in the magazine. Some Navy SEALs and some things called targets, which you use to put down on the map that could represent where the VIPs may be, or the hostages may be, or whatever the case is. And in this instance, I think this is, I forget, yes, this is Somali pirates, and they have hostages, so that's kind of fun. And it's got this neat little table here where you pop down. Hopefully you can see that. I've got the camera facing, so I can't tell if that was in. But anyway, it's a little table where the stuff randomly goes down, and there's just 5 or 6 little scenario-specific rules. And so that's neato. Then there's Bad Times in Baidoa, which is the Al-Shabaab versus the Americans. That is a 2013 situated scenario. So it's got the Somali-based Mujahideen fighting against the U.S. forces. There's a medic. SEALs, looks like the SEALs go into. Is that correct? Is it SEALs? So you've got to get the VIP. Oh, and here's the SEAL Team 6. This is the SEAL Team 6-1, and it's an article called and a scenario called Hard Truth, and that's pretty slick. Let's see if you can see that there. Oh, there we go. Whoa. It's got the little Navy SEALs action there, and that's on the Day of Heroes map as well. He said, waving. They'll play that real soon and try and squeeze that in before Christmas if I can. White Star Rising scenario. That is, it looks like Arrigo did this one, and it's trying to be fairly historically accurate. This is set in 44 in September. And there is a Nations at War scenario featuring the Canadians during the landings, Normandy landings, just after the Normandy landings. And there is, of course, a Desert Heat scenario. Got to have one of those. Oh, it's the Desert Rats versus the Italian, the Bersaglieri. Oh yeah, there's a very cool World of War scenario here. It's called Entente Cordiale, and it's kind of so the British are landing in World War III, World of War platoon level. The British have landed as reinforcements in France, and they're trying to drive through to get to the front. And there's this question as to whether the French are on the good guy side, on NATO's side, or not, because of the backstory. And that's the magazine. So it's basically a full module for, I think, was it $34 or $44, full color. And I'm excited about it just for all of the lock and load squad level scenarios, and you get the World of War stuff as well, which is awesome. Okay, later.